Tommy Descartes, the UWP candidate for Castries South, thinks the government is saddling St Lucians with a fuel pricing policy that makes fuel and every product and service that depends on it more expensive. This is what he published in an article on the St Lucia Times news site. During Monday's pre-cabinet press briefing, Prime Minister Honorable Philip J Pierre took Descartes' reasoning to task, explaining that the government's pricing strategy funds a subsidization of cooking gas.
In the budget, I announced that there was a ceiling on the price of fuel, that fuel will not cost more than $16 per gallon. I got a freeze on that. But I continued to subsidize cooking gas. I continue to subsidize now. The analysis has never mentioned the fact that we continue to subsidize cooking gas. And that is they've never spoken about the cross subsidies. So they have all the economic jargon, but they don't speak about the cross subsidies, which is also part of the economic jargon. But
whilst Descartes' article makes heavy reference to social inequity and disproportionate impacts on low-income households, and even makes a recommendation for targeted social protections, the Prime Minister underscored that sufficient policy and legislative steps have been taken to suppress the cost of living for low-income earners.
Whereas the price of fuel has been capped at $16, we continue to subsidize. So you have to look at the difference in see what is the value of the subsidy. We've subsidized basic food stuff. And the minister told you, by $13 million, we subsidize that. So again, the cross subsidy. So the analysis of fuel prices, whereas it is very centered and it's pretensive. It pretends as if there are no cross subsidies.
The opposition's criticisms of the current government's fiscal policies is convenient to undermine what Labour governments tend to be most celebrated for, social spending. In recent times, pleas have been made for the citizenry to change its perceptions of fiscal policy from a former Prime Minister and one of the Parliament's most experienced members.
If we want to maintain the quality of life that we have, if we want governments to look after our welfare, to subsidize our way of life, then we have to understand that we have to resolve the issue of financing our needs and our development in a way that is sustainable. This matter of arousing passions over simple tax adjustment needs to end. Because, you see, any and all governments will at some point or the other find it necessary to make tax adjustments of one kind or another because of the surplus that this administration has enjoyed. It has been able to grant concessions.
For Choice News Now, I am Siana Dalso.